नवी मुंबई इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट एक ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट है जिसमें विकसित भारत की झलक है।
See, the advantage of Panvel and Mumbai 3.0, it is greenfield. Greenfield means you're making it from scratch.
So, do you recommend investing?
Wait for that map to come out. Look at Niranjan Hiranandani sir. He became a billionaire through forget a city through one pin code. Powai alone made him a billionaire.
पता कैसे चलेगा कि ये लैंड जो है 10x 20x से रिटर्न देगा अगले 10-15 साल में?
I believe in the Warren Buffett principle. If you invest in the raw material of any industry, you'll always do well. The true raw material of real estate is land. When do you think the coastal road was first thought of?
Oh, 50 years ago.
1963.
अगर मैं एक फार्मर नहीं हूँ तो मैं महाराष्ट्र में एक एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड कैसे खरीद सकता हूँ?
So a lot of people do is they go to Rajasthan, they buy random land. Through that they become a farmer for the country. शेतकारी बन गए आप. वो डॉक्यूमेंट आप महाराष्ट्र में दिखा के आप महाराष्ट्र में एक कच्ची जमीन है एग्रीकल्चर लैंड खरीद सकते. South Mumbai is the richest part of Mumbai. Now why has Alibaug seen the maximum growth in Maharashtra? It's a mirror image of South Mumbai. One of our investors, say for example, bought a land worth 25 crores. Today it's 120 crores.
तो मयंक अभी मुझे बताओ कि कहाँ है ये सारे treasures?
Again, I'm obsessed with this part of Mumbai, with this outskirt, the right side.
दोस्तों ये चैनल ज़ेरोदा और थिंक स्कूल का एक जॉइंट इनिशिएटिव है जिसके माध्यम से हम भारत को वर्ल्ड क्लास बिजनेस एजुकेशन देना चाहते हैं। तो अगर आप भी बिजनेस सीखना चाहते हो तो प्लीज़ इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करो। आपके लिए तो ये फ्री है लेकिन हमारे लिए ये बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है। हाय मयंक, वेलकम टू द इंडियन बिजनेस पॉडकास्ट। मयंक, टुडे आई हैव अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक एजेंडा। You see, Gen Z has very high reluctance towards investing into real estate. Why? Because we have commitment issues. 15 साल मुझे EMI भरना पड़ेगा और भरने के बाद भी ना 7 से 10% का अप्रिसिएशन है। उसमें इंटरेस्ट इतना ज़्यादा होता है कि वो जो 7 से 10% का अप्रिसिएशन जो है वो भी कम हो जाता है। रेंटल यील्ड्स इंडिया में बहुत ज़्यादा कम है। एंड देन इफ यू लुक एट दुबई, द रेंटल यील्ड्स आर far more significant. But then after I met you, I started reading about agricultural land as an investment asset and I started going deeper into it and I found some fascinating stats. मुझे ये देखा कि पनवेल में जो लैंड 70 से 80 लाख रुपए पर एकड़ बिक रहा था, कुछ सालों बाद, I mean over a period of 10 years, it has appreciated to 1.5 to 2 crores per acre. गुड़गांव में लैंड का अप्रिसिएशन हुआ है 20x to 50x. हैदराबाद में एक एकड़ लैंड बिक रहा है 177 करोड़ में। और अभी जो समृद्धि एक्सप्रेस जो बना है वहां पे भी कुछ महीनों में लैंड का जो प्राइस है 50 लाख से 1.5 करोड़ 2 करोड़ तक पहुंच गया। तो भाई ये तो एक 10x इन्वेस्टमेंट एसेट है। तो आई गॉट एक्सट्रीमली क्यूरियस एंड आई थॉट ऑफ हैविंग यू एट द पॉडकास्ट सो दैट while I learn, the audience also learns with me. Shall we get started?
Perfect. So yeah, let's start.
Mayank, land is such an illiquid asset. एक बार मैंने पैसा डाल दिया वहाँ पे तो 15 साल अटक जाएगा। तो why should I not just buy stocks?
A very wise man told me once, Mayank, if you invest in the raw material of anything, you'll never be broke. You'll always make money. So real estate का raw material land है, and agricultural land है, which then gets converted to non-agricultural land. A lot of times people think that non-agricultural converted land is a raw material. It's not. उसके पहले भी एक step था, agricultural land. पूरा कच्चा, पूरा nascent, उसको हम कच्ची जमीन बोलते हैं. But look, land is risky. I'm not going to lie, but more risk, more return. Land, according to me, should be held for minimum 10 years.
Minimum 10 years.
I am a fundamental holder like that. See, a real estate cycle is typically 7 to 8 years. In India, the cycle is delayed because of the corruption. Because today what happens is my project is delayed by 1 year because some government officer didn't want to give me permission. That at a macro level, India is one of the countries where the cycle is not 7 to 8 years, it's actually 10 to 12 years because everything is slow, right? So unless you're very sure of entering, you can time a cycle, good for you. I'll give you an example. Ganesh, in 2020 when the COVID hit, I sold one of my lands in Karjat.
You sold?
We actually sold it. And I sold that land to buy an office. Today that office has given me a 2x. But now, if you see in 2020 what happened was that office, it was a foreclosure property in Lower Parel. I still have that office. I'm like, 10 रुपए की चीज 8 रुपए में मिल रही है, right? तो land बेच देते हैं 10 रुपए में and I get the little delta on the property. Today, let me tell you that Karjat land would have been 6x. And my office has gone only 2x after buying the office in distress.
Crazy.
But I still don't regret it because at that time I never knew that the holiday home trend will boom because of COVID, which is why Karjat did well, which is why Alibaug did well. I'm not God, nobody is. Which is why if I'd held it for longer, 10 years, 15 years, you see the cycle. True delta. So it's very hard to time when to enter and when to exit, just like anything in life. The advantage of land is that sometimes it's illiquid, so you can't sell it. Now, I wish I didn't get a buyer for my Karjat land in 2020, it would have been illiquid. So sometimes illiquidity also kind of is an advantage sometimes. That's why I say step one, always invest excess into land. Right? So obviously we'll talk about how to acquire land now.
Okay, Mike, let's start with step number 1. क्या करना चाहिए step number 1 में?
अच्छा, let me tell you something. Disclaimer. Step by step process के पहले I'll talk about regulatory due diligence and legal due diligence. और अगर आप 1 करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं ना, तो ड्यू डिलिजेंस करना बहुत जरूरी है. ये बोरिंग चीज सीखना और समझना बहुत जरूरी है. So apologies in advance, but ये boring रहेगा topic थोड़ा. But just stay with me for 15 minutes. So let me just open this map for you. Now this is a regional plan, right? Cities will have development plans, more developed. It's a little bit more intricate than this, right? There are more things in it because it's city, it's urban, right? But more over the land where you get, like I said, outskirts of cities, right? They'll have regional plans. In layman terms, rural areas will have more regional plans, right? Now, if I were to just see this, one sec. Yeah, there you go. It's created by the development authority, right? The planning authority. Now here it says final regional plan of Mumbai metropolitan region, right? The proposed land use this map will give you, right? As you can see, MMRDA is the planning authority. Signature के साथ, you know, this is the final map for this particular region. ये मैंने अलीबाग का example use किया है, right? But various regions have various maps, right? अभी for example, Ganesh wants to buy an agricultural land. He wants to buy a beautiful farmhouse, right? Say for example, his agent takes him to this beautiful गांव here. And देखो आपको दिख रहा है dark green, Yelvane, fantastic. He comes, he drives here and he sees this is right underneath a mountain and this gut number 23, just like how your name is Ganesh, my name is Mayank, just a name to identify. ये जो survey, ये gut number 23 है land का, ये बहुत beautiful land. Mayank, झरने बह रहे हैं, इतना greenery मैंने life में नहीं देखा आज तक. And you go ahead and buy this.
और वो green का मतलब क्या है?
This is forest zone, dark green. So now you're stuck with 5 acres of land that you can't build anything on.
5 acres of beautiful land which is worth nothing.
Which looks beautiful because it is a forest to begin with. Counterintuitive सोच है आपको, right? Right. So that's one thing. Secondly, जो ये belt है ना, for example, मांडवा, यहाँ jetty, I don't know आप कभी अलीबाग गए हैं कि नहीं, मैं सिर्फ example use कर रहा हूँ अलीबाग का. The jetty lands somewhere here. यहाँ ये पूरा sea है. North of this map is fully sea, right? एक और map आता है CRZ map. I can show you that as well. That will show which zones is in CRZ. So you should avoid those zones. Construction restrictions are depending on the zone, right? Generally, up till 500 meters from the high tide line of the sea, there are various CRZ zones. So as a blanket, stay away 500 meters as a blanket. You don't want to enter the whole loophole game, right? So, for example, ये land जो आपको ये दिख रहा है, land number 1, मैं बिल्कुल नहीं लूंगा, क्योंकि मेरे को पता है ये CRZ1 में होगा. There's a 80% chance this is CRZ1. So how I look at land, I don't even visit land first. I don't visit land counterintuitive. मेरे को देखना नहीं land कितना सुंदर है. I ask for all my data first. Zoning maps, right? Regulatory.
Can you give me a list?
Yeah. So number 1, zonal certificate. Number 2, I would want the Satbara. It's a revenue record. I'll also tell you Satbara is not proof of ownership. It's a revenue record. Then comes Fairfar, the mutation entries. We get to know कि मान लीजिए Mayank sells land to Ganesh.
It's officially called Fairfar?
Yes, 612 extract. Mayank sells land to Ganesh. जो उसका ना will be mutation, एक number निकलेगा and उसमें we will explain the transaction. So you'll have to read multiple Fairfars over the years to understand the flow of the title. I'll explain that when I come to legal due diligence in more detail. मोटा मोटी 7/12, Fairfar, zonal certificate, gut map, right? तो मतलब gut का shape क्या है exactly?
Gut का shape मतलब?
ये वन का देखिए shape triangle है ना?
हाँ.
I'll come to know the shape of the land.
Okay.
Gut book नकाशा.
Okay.
कभी-कभी क्या होता है, अभी वन में हिस्सा भी होगा, जो हिस्सा यहाँ रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं होगा. वन के 2 पार्ट हुए होंगे, तो आपको पार्ट कैसे दिखेगा? 1 हिस्सा 2, 1 हिस्सा 2.1, सो 1 पार्ट 1, तो उसका शेप कैसे दिखेगा मेरे को? सो गटबुक नकाशा लाना पड़ेगा मेरे को ऑफिस से, राइट? नाउ फेरफार में क्या होता है? इट्स अ म्यूटेशन एंट्री. व्हाट डज म्यूटेशन मीन? इट मीन्स चेंज फ्रॉम वन पर्सन टू द अदर, राइट? तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, Mayank sells land to Ganesh. How will I sell the land to you? I'll sell it to you. तो उसके लिए पहले सेल डीड डॉक्यूमेंट बनेगा, which is the actual transfer of ownership conveyance deed, जिसके ऊपर आप स्टैम्प ड्यूटी और रजिस्ट्रेशन भरेंगे. वो हो गया आपका टाइटल डीड. ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड्स फॉर रेवेन्यू पर्पसेस दे वर बिल्ट. रिमेंबर लगान, द ब्रिटिशर्स लव्ड रेवेन्यू. So in 1879, Bombay land, revenue code that time, they started the Saat Baras and all this, the revenue record of the entire villages, ki kitna, how much tax assessment you're paying on your land. So, but these documents now have become very important because they have so much record. Systemize ho gaya hai hamara land because of this. Saat Bara is a revenue record. It talks about the occupant. It gives you a lot of information about land का size क्या है, लैंड का गट नंबर क्या है. गट नंबर जैसे यहाँ 1 दिख रहा है आपको, सर्वे नंबर, गट नंबर जो हो गया यार, राइट?
2 में क्या दिखेगा?
सो फॉर एग्जांपल आप 2 का 7/12 निकाल रहे हैं, राइट? तो 7/12 में क्या दिखेगा? नंबर ऑन द 7/12 विल टेल यू कि गट नंबर 2 है, सो यू नो कि ये 2 है. अब मेरे को यहाँ से पता है 2 की शेप यहाँ है बिकॉज आई हैव द रीजनल प्लान, राइट? अगर रीजनल प्लान नहीं होता, या मान लीजिए रीजनल प्लान नहीं बना है, या विलेज मैप नहीं है, या इवन वर्स 2 के 2 हिस्से हो गए, पार्टीशन हो गया है दोनों भाइयों के बीच में फॉर XYZ रीजन, और मैं एक हाफ खरीद रहा हूं. हाउ विल आई नो इसका शेप क्या है अंदर से? तो उस टाइम जब सर्वे हुआ होगा तोड़ने के लिए लैंड को, राइट, वो गटबुक नक्शे में आई अंडरस्टैंड की शेप क्या है.
तो क्या ये हर साल बनता है?
नहीं, इट डिपेंड्स. हर साल नहीं बनता है, जब चेंज होता है तब होता है. रीजनल प्लान तो वंस इन अ वाइल बनता है. दिस इज समथिंग वेरी डिफरेंट.
तो अगर ये 2 अगर टूट के 2 हिस्से में हो गया है, तो ये अपडेट कब होगा?
ये कभी अपडेट नहीं होगा उसमें. रीजनल प्लान कांट शो ऑल द हिस्सास. दिस इज मोर मैक्रो. दिस इज मोर मैक्रो, मोर ब्रॉड. वो टूटेगा आपके सर्वे ऑफिस में. सर्वे के लिए बंदा आएगा, दे विल मेजर इट एंड दे विल ब्रेक इट. 7/12 will also get separated. For example, मैं यहाँ से आया and you decide to look at this land 248. I'm just giving you various scenarios that can go wrong, right? This is touching a pond. You get very excited, यार तो pond touch है. मैंने क्या बोला था? Setback होगा. Now देखिए जो ये land है ना 249, it's still okay क्योंकि setback भी हुआ ना, the shape of the land touching the pond is still good. Setback भी हुआ तो इतना जाएगा ना मेरा. But अगर ये length 249 का सटा हुआ था pond से, then I would have lost my construction margin, right? Sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, now see, this is a proposed road. ये बनी नहीं है road अभी. जो dotted दिख रही है आपको? 227 बहुत beautiful land है. बहुत ही beautiful land है. Next to a forest, but not in forest. तो greenery है यहाँ. But you can't buy this land क्योंकि यहाँ road जाएगा.
But isn't that a great thing because then I can sell it to the government?
You'll not get the money that you think you would in hyperinflated areas. वो बहुत, it sounds rosy, right? कि government आपको इतना पैसा देगी, पापड़ बेलने पड़ते हैं उसके.
मैंने तो बहुत सारे लोगों का सुना है कि वहां पे उनका लैंड का कुछ वैल्यू नहीं था, वहां पे कुछ उगता भी नहीं था, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट को हम पे रोड डालना था और उन्होंने बहुत करोड़ों रुपए कमा लिए.
See, what happens is in some places that makes sense, but जहां आप कभी खरीदोगे नहीं वैसी जगह में, आप क्यों खरीदोगे? वो तो why would you buy in a remote place like that? These are hot areas, right? And
तो hot areas में लैंड खरीद के फिर गवर्नमेंट को क्यों नहीं बेच सकते?
नहीं, because the market rate is so much. The government is not. मैं बताता हूँ आपको, यहाँ ready reckoner rate जो है, which is the government circle rate, is around 4 lakh rupees per gunta, right? 40 guntas. I'll say R actually as a technical term. ARE. R is a measurement. 40 R's make a acre. The ready reckoner rate, which is the government circle rate, हर जगह circle rate होता है in for apartments, right? Is here is 4 lakh rupees. The market rate of this land is 25 lakh rupees. The government is not going to pay you more than the 20. It's so already so inflated. And there are various formulas when the government acquires land from you. Various formulas. They look at the circle rate, then they look at last 3 years का top 50% sale deeds हुए हैं. अच्छा, बहुत सारे sale deed cash में होते हैं. Right? You'll never have inflated. So the government का जो assessment है, the government might say कि मैं आपको 2x या 4x दे दूंगा. But 4x of what? 4x would be of a sum. गवर्नमेंट का फेयर वैल्यू होगा इसका मान लीजिए 8 लाख रुपए पर आर. 8 लाख का 4x दिया आपको 32 lakhs फॉर एग्जाम्पल. But what if the market price is 40 lakhs today, which my neighbor can give me? So you have to see. It's very nuanced, right? So never buy land unless you are very, very connected. Never buy land just to sell it to the government.
वो तो लक का ही गेम है.
लक का गेम है. आप लैंड खरीद के बिल्डर को बेचो ना. प्राइवेट में जाओ, गवर्नमेंट में क्यों जा रहे हो?
Got it.
Right? So I would avoid such lands. Right? Setback भी आएगा रोड का. हाईवे बन रहा है तो 40 मीटर क्या कौन सुनेगा आवाज हाईवे की? Now there is a little fun hack that we have. For example, let's look at there's something known as the Gauthan extension scheme. Right? This is valid for Maharashtra. Gauthan were settlement areas where the villagers used to live in a cluster. Right? So, abhi for example in Maharashtra there's a Gauthan extension scheme. In this region, if I buy land that comes 500 meters within the Gauthan boundaries, my FSI is massive. FSI is how much I can build on a land. अभी जो आपको मान लीजिए जो नॉर्मल लैंड है ना इधर, मेरे को बेसिक FSI 0.1 मिलता है उसमें. 0.1 मीन्स इन लेमैन टर्म्स मैं कितना बना सकता हूं. अगर लैंड 10,000 स्क्वायर फुट का है, I can build 0.1 10%, so I can build 1,000 square foot on it. Right? FSI concept is clear?
Yeah.
Generally G1 जोन में जो हमारी जोन है ये, यहाँ FSI is 0.1 starting and then depends. Gauthan में मैं starting ही 1 है. So 10 times more FSI I'm getting. If my land falls 500 meters from the Gauthan extension boundaries. So for example, for me, I would buy this land blindly, number 5. मेरे को देखना भी नहीं है land. मैं क्या करूंगा देख के? Because those things I can change. खड्डा है land में मिट्टी डाल दो. But regulations, how do I change? So people love seeing land. I don't like seeing land. I like seeing this. I look at land like a code. आप क्या देखोगे? ठीक है, you see it, it's good, you feel the vibes, but that's emotional way of looking at it. Right? Gut number 13 is my favorite. I haven't seen this land, but I know it'll be great because Gauthan के बाजू में मेरे को FSI ज़्यादा मिलेगा. Premiums भर के I can build 2.24 on it, which is almost 2.25 times I can build on that land. 1 एकड़ लैंड के ऊपर मैं 2.25 एकड़ बना सकता हूँ बाद में. तो ये लैंड मैं बिल्डर को बेच सकता हूँ ना बाद में.
Got it.
लैंड की वैल्यू उसके यूज केस में होती है हमेशा. तो यहां देखिए ऊपर है पोर्ट जोन. क्या करोगे? दिस वाज बिल्ट फॉर द पोर्ट्स, है ना? सो इसमें क्या ही करोगे? सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी कॉशियस. ये भी डॉटेड, ये भी रोड आ रही है, तो यू कांट बाय सच लैंड्स, राइट? ये लैंड तो बीच में टूट जाएगा, राइट? ये फॉरेस्ट है, सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी काइंड ऑफ choosy. So this is basically gives you the idea of the zones, basic idea of the zones, how the government, how the town planning authorities intend to, kind of grow the region, how to develop the region. Something like this I would personally like if I want a farmhouse is this gut number. It's surrounded by forest, but it's not in forest. You know what I mean? So this will have both the views and so that's just the basic. So I would check this, right?
So check the zonal certificate. Read
check
the
regional plans. Yeah, regional plans check करिए, zonal certificate check करिए, 7/12 check करिए, फेरफार या mutation entries check करिए, gut book maps check करिए to understand the shape of the land you're buying in, right? Government survey हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है तो please get the survey done. It takes 2 to 3 months to get the government survey done. Now, ideally, you can't check everything. Legal due diligence में time जाएगा, right? Regulatory, you have an idea कि आप कितना build कर सकते हैं, क्या है मोटा मोटा. Once you know कि regulatory it fits my bill, the land is good, right? Correct zone में है. Then you finally go meet the farmer or the seller. Then I would meet him. कि I want to buy this land. इसका use case है. I see growth, right? And after this, I'll also tell you fundamentally how to select an area according to me, right? So we're talking about farmer से यहाँ seller farmer है, right? Because we're talking about agricultural land, we're assuming कि farmer होगा. Then we go and then talk to him that we are interested in your land, then negotiate.
मयंक, अब आते हैं सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट पे कि उस लैंड को कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें जो हमें अगले 10-20 साल में 20x, 30x, 50x का रिटर्न देकर जाए.
Lovely. So ज्यादा रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है. don't think like a technical analysis, like, day trading जैसा नहीं सोचना है आपको. Think like Warren Buffett. Fundamental analysis. Fundamentally, is the region strong or not? मैं आपको example देता हूँ. Any region, एक तो आपको outskirts में invest करना है. Please, into 1,000 times, please invest in outskirts of your city.
But outskirt का definition
Exactly. Good. Now, what happens is, outskirts is 360 degrees. Could be north, south, east, west. You need to understand which part of that city is booming. I'll give you an example. Bombay का example लेते हैं.
In which direction is the city growing?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example of where the richer people staying in what direction. I'll give you an example. Bombay का map आपको मालूम है, right? Surrounded by water on 3 sides. We can all safely say that South Mumbai is the richest part of Mumbai. Can we say that? Now, why has Alibaug seen the maximum growth in Maharashtra?
Because it's easy to commute.
From South Bombay. It is the south outskirt of South Bombay. Whereas, let's talk about Igatpuri. Igatpuri has not given the returns it should have given, ideally. Why? Because Igatpuri आता है Bombay और Nasik के बीच में. Right? Put that thought on hold. Let's talk about Navi Mumbai, Panvel. Panvel कहाँ आता है? Panvel comes between Panvel, Karjat, Lonavala. Pound for pound example, Lonavala की बात करते हैं. Lonavala comes between Mumbai and Pune. What is more popular, Igatpuri or Lonavala, Khandala?
Lonavala.
Why? I'll tell you why. Fundamentally, do you think Nasik can ever become Pune?
No.
Now, Igatpuri is between Mumbai and Nasik. Right? If Nasik can't become Pune, Igatpuri can never become Khandala.
So it's proximity to hotspot.
Absolutely. Right? And I strongly believe that Mumbai, Pune, although एक शहर नहीं बनेगा, both are metros. And उसके बीच का जो ठप्पा है, Lonavala, Khandala will always do better than something that is between Mumbai and Nasik. No offense to Nasik, but Nasik cannot become Pune. At least in the near future, which is why Igatpuri will not become, and which is why Alibaug has done very well. दूसरी चीज, एक हो गया proximity to hotspots, right? Good fundamental analysis. Gurugram का example देख लो ना आप, right? Gurugram was perfectly sandwiched between south is Delhi and airport. Beautiful, right? And also Gurugram did very well because of a policy paralysis by Delhi government. DDA में, they were not sanctioning any new buildings. So all the new buildings came in Gurugram.
But अभी नोएडा भी बहुत boom कर रहा है. उसका क्या logic है?
Noida का भी logic है because of the whole Jewar airport and that entire sector. Now see, both of them are actually southish only. North में आपके Kundli side, which is hardcore Haryana, is still going to take some more time as opposed to Gurugram and Noida. Bombay में you have Alibaug, which has done the best because South Bombay का south है वो. Secondly, एक हो गया proximity to hotspot. दूसरा है fundamental landscape. Why is Mumbai the most expensive city in India? Is because there is no land. It's surrounded by water from 3 sides. Similarly, Alibaug has done well because it is surrounded. It's a mirror image of South Bombay. अगर आप Alibaug का map देखोगे तो, right? It is surrounded by water from 3 sides, right? Alibaug में भी there is no land. अच्छा, land तो है नहीं. Firstly, transactable land और कम है. इतने ड्यू डिलिजेंस करोगे तो साफ सीधा लैंड कितना बचेगा, राइट? प्लस बीच में फॉरेस्ट है, अलीबाग के फॉरेस्ट जोन दिखाया था मैंने आपको. सो एक्चुअल हैबिटेबल ट्रांजैक्टेबल लैंड इज वेरी लेस, सप्लाई लेस है. इफ यू लुक एट करजत, व्हाई हैज अलीबाग बीटन करजत अगेन, राइट? करजत ग्रोज रेडियली 360 degrees
Like Pune.
Yeah, it grows radially. Delhi is also growing radially. Bombay doesn't grow radially. It can only go either north towards Gujarat or right towards Pune. The entire pie is filled with water. So it can't grow radially. Alibaug also can't grow radially. So just see how much land you have. Karjat can grow radially. So I'll always invest in an Alibaug over Karjat because I know there's more land, there's more supply of land in Karjat. Alibaug में कम land है. Plus South Bombay का proximity है वो. Right? So these two things. Third, infrastructure. Right? This is the most commonsensical one. Right? But often क्या होता है, एक काउंटर इंट्यूटिव चीज बताता हूं मैं आपको. Real estate prices don't immediately rise today because of an infrastructure announcement. It's a fact.
They don't?
I'll tell you why. Today, as per 2026 and 2025, because of people's lack of trust in the government. मेरे को मालूम है कि आपने आज अनाउंस किया इंफ्रा, 20 साल लगेंगे कि नहीं लगेंगे हाईवे आने में.
जैसे अपना मुंबई 3 का बुलेट ट्रेन
आ रहा है, but you're not going to buy land there today. If that same announcement was done abroad, people know it's going to happen.
But isn't that precisely the reason why I should go and buy land?
No, but it can also put you in limbo. Okay, I'll tell you. Do you know the Wilbur-Smith report was? Okay, tell me one thing. When do you think the coastal road was first thought of?
30 years ago?
Come on. That's too soon, yaar.
Oh, 50 years ago?
1963.
1963?
Maharashtra became a state in 1960. Right? It was merged with Gujarat earlier. 1963, there's a report called Wilbur-Smith report. They said, they spoke of Atal Setu Bridge as well. They said ki you should, because Bombay is, coastal, try connecting it. Obviously, that time the map of the Atal Setu wasn't as chakachak as it is today. Rough coastal road के बारे में लिखा है. Eastern freeway के बारे में लिखा है उस report में. Atal Setu के बारे में लिखा है उस. Why has it taken us 70 years? Firstly, the approvals came later because the files go ringa roses in the offices. Then finally we decide, and obviously the budgets, right? 1963, Trans Harbour Link was first sort of soft introduced. It got completed in 2024.
तो क्या करना चाहिए अगर ये एयरपोर्ट का अनाउंसमेंट हो जाता है तो?
अभी एयरपोर्ट में कितना टाइम लगा है? एयरपोर्ट में कितना टाइम लगा है?
20 साल.
कितना टाइम लगा है? मैं 20 साल पहले. So today if a new announcement comes, first announcement पे मैं नहीं लूंगा. अगर मेरे को पहला announcement किया किसी politician ने कि or anyone that XYZ जगह पे I'm going to bring this flyover, I'll say let it get first approved. This is just a mere announcement. So because of that, I think infra is great, but you should actually, once you see the infra being actually tender मिल गया किसी को, then is when you buy it. So don't believe in propaganda and announcements. Wait for the actual tender. Tender किसको pass हुआ है? Has J. Kumar, has an L&T got the tender? Then pounce on it. Because then you know that boss, 4 to 6 years. अच्छा, इंडिया एक ऐसा country है जहाँ permission में ज़्यादा time लगता है than construction. Genuinely.
Correct.
Right? And there's a joke. The joke is that building something on the sea, building a ceiling is actually easier than building something on the ground because you have to get right of way from everyone.
Yeah.
In a democratic country. So the actual engineering part you can solve. Right? So I think once the tender comes, once you know ki ban raha hai for sure, then you can take a bite. Right? So infra is common sense. Right? Also, I would see, are there going to be any meaningful CBDs there? Central Business Districts.
Central Business Districts.
Yeah. If you see why all the cities like Mumbai have done well, Mumbai had India's first high-rise central business district, which is Nariman Point. Right? And low-rise tha Fort. Kitna purana hai CST area? Fort Kalba Devi. They're hundreds of years old. So what happens is the central business district ki aaju-baaju growth hota hai.
So that becomes the hotspot.
Absolutely.
अभी कोई central business district आने वाला है क्या पूरे इंडिया में?
Yes, there are, like for example, Mumbai 3.0. They're saying they're going to make it fantastic with data centers and everything is going to be top of the line. We saw what BKC did. Hyderabad is a beautiful example of that. Like, I am stunned by the growth of that city. Gachibowli Financial District. I had gone there about 15 years ago. And it felt like, okay, there's a lot of, but the execution was fantastic. Like Amazon's biggest office in India is in Hyderabad. The Microsoft largest offices, ICICI Bank, all the large offices are there. So of course the real estate it creates rental demand. It creates, people want to buy homes there. So CBD infrastructure, land supply, right? And proximity to hotspots. And yes, any government policy. Government policies are also very, very important.
तो मयंक अभी मुझे बताओ कि कहाँ है ये सारे ट्रेजर्स?
देखो हर स्टेट में कुछ ना कुछ ट्रेजर रहेगा आपका. मैं बोला रियल एस्टेट हाइपर लोकल है.
चलो महाराष्ट्र की बात करते हैं.
महाराष्ट्र में आई स्ट्रांगली बिलीव राइट नाउ आई एम अ डाई हार्ड अलीबाग फैनेटिक. इट विल, देखिए क्या हो गया ना कोविड के बाद, ऑल्सो बायर ट्रेंड्स चेंज्ड. हॉलीडे होम्स पीपल बिकेम एन एसेट क्लास. पीपल गॉट सीरियस फॉर दैट. आप एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स देख लो बॉम्बे का. People don't want to, it's actually hurting people now, the air, right? People want to be close to nature. Holiday homes has boomed. Religious tourism, right? Religious tourism is so underrated. Acha, Indians का problem क्या है? Roti kapda makan, right? We are obsessed since childhood कि you should invest in residential flats. Why? Think beyond. अगर आप, so I'll summarize real estate for you. मेरे हिसाब से, if you want high passive income, like a rental yield, please invest in warehouses. They give maximum, you can achieve up to 8 to 9% as well, right? Rent, which is great per annum. If you want capital appreciation, land, nothing comes close to that. And if you want security and preservation of capital, buy apartments. अच्छा, बिल्डर क्या करता है आज की तारीख में? लैंड खरीद, टेक्निकली लैंड खरीद के आपको इमेजिनरी जेड एक्सेस ही तो बेच रहा है. एक लैंड इज यूनिक लाइक अ फिंगरप्रिंट. एक लैंड पे 400 फ्लैट बना देगा वो. सो माय सप्लाई रेशियो विल ऑलवेज बी 1:400, राइट? सो दैट्स हाउ आई ब्रेक रियल एस्टेट डाउन. नाउ दो चीजें, एक आइडेंटिफाइंग द एरिया कि कहां आपका मैक्सिमम ग्रोथ होगा, दूसरा आइडेंटिफाइंग द एसेट क्लास. व्हाई नॉट इन्वेस्ट इन अयोध्या, वृंदावन? Do you know Vrindavan has more annual tourists than Bali?
No.
Exactly.
Why is Vrindavan so special?
They have over 5,000 temples. It's just a religious hub. Ayodhya, we all know, right? Religious, so think out of the box, right? Religious tourism, I'm seeing growth. I'm seeing growth in holiday homes. Goa ने क्या boom देखा है since COVID, right? And Goa has seen the boom primarily because of people in Delhi and Gurgaon. बहुत investors हैं गुड़गांव से गोवा में आए, because उनके लिए क्या होता है, beach is a novelty. They go to the hills. अच्छा, hills में उत्तराखंड, and you can't buy land. It's very very complex. You need to be son of the soil and all of that, right? Forget non-agriculturists. People from not from the state can't buy in Himachal and this thing. So एक हो गया asset class and एक हो गया location. Location I already spoke to you about. Asset class में you can identify new trends. I spoke of Ayodhya. I'm bullish on Ayodhya. I'm bullish on Vrindavan. I'm bullish on Alibaug for holiday homes. Goa was extremely great. Goa has also given 5 to 6x returns. Now it's a little saturated. Bullish on Karjat.
You're still bullish on Karjat?
I am, but little less bullish as opposed to an Alibaug or a Goa.
Okay, Mayank. Now we come to the most important part of all, which is identifying hotspots, which will give you 5x, 6x return in the next 5-6 years. So, is it a gimmick, or can we really identify it?
Absolutely not a gimmick, and it's happened, and that's how people make money. There's a saying that if you want to become rich, do a job or do something. If you want to become wealthy, invest in assets, right? Because what happens when you invest in land, you'll buy something worth, say, 2 crores minimum entry. जब वो कंपाउंड होकर 6x होता है ना, आपको 12 करोड़ मिलते हैं. Rather than a small share market में हमें 50,000 रुपए डाल के वो 6x दिया. So the fact that you get chunky returns, and those are generational returns you get. We've done transactions for people where 2023 में one of our investors, say for example, bought a land worth 25 crores. Today it's 120 crores.
120 crores?
Yes, that's a generational. So when you do a 4.5x or 5x on a chunky investment of 25 crores, तब मजा आता है ना? So yes, that happens. तो ये मैप है, मैं गूगल से दिखाऊंगा आपको, गूगल मैप. Logically, I'll try my best to explain. Right? Let's talk about Alibaug. Because according to me, that fits in the subset of all four. By the way, if you had invested 1 crore in 2020 in Alibaug, आज वो 5 crore या minimum 6 crore होता. 5 to 6 crores.
Wow.
And in most parts of Alibaug, it's just done well. All these 4 subsets, plus the 5th one was the local trend of holiday homes boomed at the same time. Right? तो तेजी का market था. And in fact, everything had appreciated. The last 5 years, watches appreciated.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of things appreciated. So now let's talk about the logic. First is outskirts. Alibaug is the outskirts. We can see that. Let's Gateway of India. From Colaba, you take a jetty. आप 1 घंटे में मालदार या PNP से पहुंच सकते हैं. If you want to spend more, you can take a speedboat. It'll take you 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Speedboat. 20 minutes. It rips through this and in 20 minutes you reach Mandwa jetty. Right? And they've always been there. But the game changer, making it a legit outskirts, is from Bhaucha Dakka, from Mazgaon, there is a Ro-Ro ship. So it's a massive ship, like a catamaran almost, where you can put your car inside and come. So people don't have to drive. They take the car, they put it inside, and the ship takes 1 hour to reach here.
That's how I traveled to Alibaug.
Beautiful, convenient. So can I say it's a legit outskirt now? In 1 hour, 1.5 hours, we can reach.
Yeah.
From my house, I live here in near Mahalakshmi. To Goregaon takes me longer sometimes. Can take me longer depending on the traffic. Right? Now, outskirts is qualified. Hotspot. Like I said earlier, we can all assume that South Mumbai is the richest region in all of India.
Yeah.
It is a hotspot to that. Look at the price arbitrage between the two. Colaba is about 50 to 60,000 rupees a square foot on average. यहाँ property आप जाएंगे Cuff Parade में, the high-end buildings में, it's 1 lakh rupees a square foot as well. And अगर मैं यहाँ से by sea 1 घंटे में आ सकता हूँ या speed boat में आधे घंटे में आ सकता हूँ, look at that arbitrage. Right? Plus,
अलीबाग का प्राइस क्या चल रहा है?
अलीबाग depends. लैंड का प्राइस मैं बताता हूँ. लैंड का प्राइस एनीवे जितना ये जेटी है, जितना दूर जाएंगे उतना प्राइस कम होते जाएगा. राइट? तो जेटी पे इट्स बिकम वेरी एक्सपेंसिव नाउ. जेटी पे वी लुकिंग एट 12 crores an acre, which is still cheap. बॉम्बे का देखो, मतलब यू कांट थिंक ऑफ एन acre फर्स्टली, बट 400-500 करोड़ के नीचे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा आपको. सो देयर इज एन आर्बिट्राज, मैसिव प्राइस आर्बिट्राज. प्लस पीपल वांट फार्म हाउसेस. Consider like the Hamptons of Mumbai. Hamptons near New York, like where does the rich buy farmhouses? This is the place. अच्छा, the beauty of farmhouses क्या होता है? आप farmhouse खरीदते ना, आप 1 acre लेओगे एक farmhouse के लिए. तो look at the supply getting eaten up for one person, for one family. बॉम्बे में 1 acre में 500 family रहेंगी. तो supply doesn't get eaten up that much. यहाँ land anyways नहीं है, देखो water है. Plus, एक family आया, one rich family by 2 acres. That much 2 acres is eaten up from the supply. दूसरी चीज, अलीबाग में end users हैं. It is not a flipper market like Gurgaon. Right? People are not buying. A lot of people build homes on it, which means it is forever removed from the circulating supply. पहले क्या होता था? शाहपुर उस साइड में मैं लैंड खरीदता था आपसे, अगले दिन मैं सेल पे डाल देता था. सप्लाई गई कहाँ? This is what is happening in Gurgaon, right? Our dear friend Vishal is obviously given more thought to that, but so
Anti-ambassador of Gurgaon.
Anti-ambassador, right? So this is the hotspot, right? As you can see, these are all the pins. These are all the land access that we have access to. अच्छा, beautiful चीज क्या है? बीच में forest डाल दिया है ये, तो land बचा कहाँ है? यहाँ तो CRZ हो जाएगा आपका. ये पूरा water है, right? Landscape we spoke about right now. Supply, genuine demand we spoke about right now. Where will the rich buy farmhouses here? Now let's talk about infra. We know that after 60 years from Wilbur Smith report, at least the Atal Setu got built, right? 2024 May it got sanctioned. Great project, right? And I think I'm genuinely impressed by the government for doing this. It is India's longest sea bridge. From here, this is South Mumbai, from Sivri to Panvel, Chirle, where it lands, it genuinely takes 20 minutes. Right? And it's a beautiful drive. So from this belt to this side of town, right? To this Raigad side of town, I can reach within 25 minutes. From South Mumbai by car. Right? आपको 25 मिनट Western Line में भी लगेगा. Right? So we're talking about infra. Now, abhi major infra project what is happening is, this has reduced my driving time to Alibaug by a good 30 minutes. पहले मेरा it used to take me 2.5 hours to drive. Now it takes me 2 hours to drive because of this. I don't have to go along this route, right? So genuine value add. You can see logically genuine value add, right? I'm doing displacement here. Now, but something even better is happening. You see यहाँ एक ये blue flag है. This, you see this little 2-kilometer creek? They are building a sea bridge here, Karanja Revas Bridge.
Oh.
And it is going to be ready in 1.5 years. काम तो चालू है, we can see the work in progress. Which means, even by road, पहले मेरे को ऐसे आना पड़ता था ऊपर से, ऐसे करनाला बर्ड से, through Pain, and then come like that and enter Alibaug through like this. Then I have to, 2 years ago, I've come like this. I go down, I come like this, you can just follow my cursor, and here I am through Pain, ऐसे करके. Now what's going to happen is, this new infra, I come down here, this takes me 25 minutes, I just go down. And from here, I'm right here in Alibaug.
But you can just directly take the ship, no, from there.
No, but I can, some people want to drive. सारे boxes check करने ना, by
Okay.
ship, by road as well. Road is very important, right? So this, I can drive to Alibaug now in 70 minutes.
Because social infrastructure in Alibaug is just absolutely terrible.
Terrible beyond words. Another thing what is terrible in Alibaug is the actual infrastructure within Alibaug. It is terrible.
Yeah.
The roads are narrow, right? But it's somewhat like Goa. You see, Goa's social infrastructure is beautiful. A lot of clubs, restaurants. But the roads in Goa are a little congested, they're narrow, right? So I think Alibaug's roads are like Goa, they're not the best, but social infrastructure needs to improve. That is for sure. But it is improving. Hotels are coming in. 5 stars are coming in as well. So slowly, steadily, I think it'll take 5 years. The social infrastructure will drastically improve. There's a Starbucks right now in Mandwa Jetty.
Okay.
It was such a big deal for us. 2 years back.
So you're
But
saying that
slowly-
Alibaug checks all the boxes. So Alibaug falls.
Except for social infrastructure, it checks all the boxes.
So Alibaug falls at the outskirts of South Bombay. It has proximity to the hotspot, which is Mumbai. Fundamental landscape is such that a small chunk of people will eat up large chunks of land, eventually restricting the supply. As a result, because of the demand-supply mismatch, it is bound to be very costly.
Plus, supply is anyways less because it can't grow radially. There is sea from all 3 sides.
And the fundamental landscape is such that it can't go radially. So again, the demand is very less as compared to, the supply is very less as compared to the projected demand. And the infrastructure facilities are there, which improve connectivity between Mumbai and Alibaug. So it's a great place. And local trend of holiday homes has also tilted in Alibaug's favor. Great. Now, can we identify 3 more locations just like Alibaug and apply this thesis over there?
Absolutely. So, one thing that I'm bullish on is Mumbai 3.0 region. This entire region, right? Currently, it's just little policy paralyzed. Not paralyzed is a very strong word to use. Right now, MMRD is making plans, zoning बना रहे हैं. So we don't know the exact zone कहाँ क्या आएगा, right? This is great. Mumbai 3.0, this entire Panvel, I'm super bullish on. The beauty of Panvel market, fundamentally, it's a stronger market than Alibaug, to be honest, because Mandi में भी बिकेगा Panvel. क्यों? Because it's a first home destination. Alibaug is not a first home destination, it's a second home destination. Alibaug is a want, it's not a need. Panvel is very good for MIG. अगर आपको 80 लाख में घर लेना है, 1 करोड़ में घर लेना है, आप पनवेल जाओगे. There the price on RERA carpet is still 11,000 rupees a square foot, which is very, very affordable. So मंदी में भी आदमी को घर तो चाहिए खरीदने के लिए, but मंदी में आदमी को फार्म हाउस नहीं चाहिए. So that fundamentally Panvel is it's a better option from a fundamental perspective, right? From the infra perspective, Trans Harbour, Atal Setu, very close to Panvel. I can reach Panvel in 35 minutes, right? You can also take the freeway. So Panvel checks the outskirts. In fact, it's not in the outskirts right now. It is, people now define outskirts from Panvel.
Oh, okay.
Right? Airport.
From Goldmine, we know Jaldi Bol Panvel Jana means Panvel is outskirts.
Absolutely. Right? One thing that the government has finally done is the international airport.
Okay.
बहुत साल से गोलमाल के टाइम से सुनते आ रहे हैं हम तो गवर्नमेंट के कि एयरपोर्ट आ रहा है, एयरपोर्ट आ रहा है, एयरपोर्ट अभी एयरपोर्ट आ गया है, राइट? नाउ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम the passenger capacity of this airport will be close to 9 crore passengers. It's more than connectivity. Imagine the number of jobs that airport is going to create. It's estimated that this airport will create 50,000 direct and indirect jobs, right? So I think the government is genuinely bullish. I'm genuinely happy with what the government has plans for, at least has planned. Execution is the key. They're going to make massive data. By the way, this area, they plan to make it the biggest data center hub of Asia.
But wouldn't that cause water problem?
I'm not sure about the water problem, but I think they can solve, if they're planning to kind of make it the largest data center, I'm sure they would have thought of something.
Because the problem is, even in developed places like the US, there is a direct correlation between the emergence of data centers and water shortage and water problems in residential areas.
That's interesting. One thing I know for sure, the data centers, I've been told, don't generate jobs because they're fully automated. So I don't think data center could job hoga, but I think institutional investors kind of love that. So, it's like the region gets promoted because of that.
So would the emergence of data center help the land prices appreciate, or would it depreciate land prices?
I think it will help the overall development. See, when investors look at overall development, it's not like an industrial, where the gas is coming out in a red zone or a purple industrial zone. I don't think data centers will reduce the land prices, for sure. And I genuinely feel like Mumbai 3.0, the land prices are anyways locked in. They're pretty expensive as of now.
So do you recommend investing?
I would say wait, not now. I would say wait for the MMRDA's plan, the planning authority. I'd shown you the map. Wait for that map to come out. Let's wait, because say you buy land somewhere and then it turns out it's not in a favorable zone.
So zoning hasn't happened yet.
Micro zoning has not happened yet.
Then Hiranandanis and Lodas have been investing a lot.
It doesn't matter for them because those massive chunks of land. So you get immunity when you buy big land parcels above 25 acres. You can change your zones and things like that, right? Secondly, for that region where you see, their zoning has happened, where they have bought.
Which phase is that? Isn't that Nena phase 1?
No, that's not Nena. Right? Now, for example, this is Hiranandani. Right? Here, the zoning has happened, right? It's all here where the zoning has not happened.
Okay.
This chunk. Nena is much more north. Nena is closer to the airport. Nena's zoning has happened.
So, Nena, Panvel, ये दोनों अलग है क्या?
It's part of Panvel. Nena is a man-made term. Like it's just a term.
Okay.
This is the area. Navi Mumbai Air Force, Navi Mumbai Airport Influence Notified Area.
Okay.
It's not a pin code.
Okay.
Panvel is a pin code. Now let's open this plan.
ये क्या है?
I'll tell you. This, I had shown you the regional plan of Alibaug. This is the development DP plan of Nena. Nena phase 1, 12 TPSs. Right? Now let's zoom in a bit. Let's understand. I would say rather invest in Nena over, though Nena is a part. See, Mumbai 3.0 doesn't have defined boundaries. I call Mumbai 3.0 as rebranding of Panvel and Raigad district.
Okay.
Right? So, now see, this is the DP plan. You can already tell this is more intricate than the map I'd shown you earlier.
Yeah.
Right? Here there are roads, there are sectors, there are open spaces. Right? But ये कैसे बना ये सब? Right? Land तो haphazard था. So what the government had to do is, government had to take land from the farmer, right? Give them 40% of the land back. And with the remaining 60%, they did all the roads. So a lot of times the farmer's land could be here originally, and usko plot ये वाला मिला है plot.
समझ गया.
Right? In barter. Now when you open it, this is a more developed, can't you see this is more, and imagine this being from scratch. Won't this be a more developed city than Mumbai? From scratch. Visualize a completed version of this in 30 years.
So this will be completed in the next 30 years, you see.
Meaning there's no time. It has to happen organically, right?
Like what does your judgment say?
I would say the entire city would take 20-25 years. Because I'll tell you why. See, for example, you're a builder, you buy this plot, 431. How do I know when you will complete your building on this?
Got it.
These are plots of land.
So where do you think we should invest?
Yeah. So for example, I think Nena phase 1 is great because I already know the 12 TPSs there in front of you. This is a town planning scheme. There are 12 of them. I know these maps. So what I'll do is, let's look at the legend first. Right? CITCO is the town planning authority, as you can see. This is the legend, right? This is open space. This is amenity space, the pink. It's not clear, but I'll just read it out, right? Now, if I want, and also in Bombay and in Maharashtra and in many parts of India, fundamentally, in developing areas and developed areas as well, plots that are abutting wider roads have better FSI, naturally, because you want to control population that on a wider road, right? Now, for example, here we do reverse. I'll just show you something. Let's look at
641.
Let's look at 645,
Okay.
right? I would like a 645 prima facie, or maybe I would like something even better. I would like, 645 is good, right? It's abutting an amenity plot, which will be a government amenity, right? Piche garden hai, but it's abutting a very big wide road, 45-meter road.
तो बहुत आवाज होगा.
आवाज नहीं होगा. It'll just be, in fact, it'll be better.
Why?
It'll be better because it's a wider road. It's like saying Dubai ki road mein आवाज आता है क्या? Okay. It's a boon, not a curse, right? As opposed to 20-meter का road.
But isn't 641 better? Because वो amenity से भी adjacent है, open space से भी adjacent है.
641 this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see the access road is only 12 meters.
तो उसका FSI भी कम होगा.
FSI relatively कम होगा. Now, what we do something is we go backwards. ये acquisition हो रहा है. Lot of farmers want to exit plots. उनका 7/12 है. Right? What the government is doing in Naina is they're taking the 7/12, allotting them the plot. There could be a chance that farmer का land यहाँ होगा. Can you see this? यहाँ land होगा उसका actual, ये सब खेत है अभी. यहाँ land होगा उसका. लेकिन उसका in exchange 40% land 645 में मिलेगा यहाँ.
तो क्या वो allocate हो चुका है?
हो रहा है. So we know कि किसको कौन सा मिलेगा, कौन से gut number को, 7/12 में gut number होता है. We know which gut number को कौन सा plot मिलेगा. So we work backward. What I do is I'll say I want 645, farmer ढूंढो. Then we go, ये 7/12 है. We'll tell the farmer that अच्छा प्राइस आपको 7/12 का सेम देना पड़ेगा. मान लीजिए इसका प्लॉट यहाँ के बजाय 641 में आ रहा होता, वो तो प्राइस अपने 7/12 का सेम मांगता ना आपसे. But in 645 is a better plot than 641, assuming the size is the same of both of them. So these are the things that you can do.
What is the possibility of this plan changing?
This is not going to change. This is set in stone.
Even if the government changes, it won't change.
No, this can't change. This is not going to change. Right? So this is one of those schemes. Now, let's look at. So I think, according to me, I think Naina phase 1 is better because I know the 12 DPS is out. You can see I can do such detailed studying. I can get a plot abutting something that I want.
So unless you have a DP, don't try to invest.
Like unless you're at least sure of what is happening.
Bro, ये तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा fancy लग रहा है. लेकिन जैसा आपने बोला, not all that glitters is gold. तो मुझे बताओ अभी pitfalls क्या-क्या हो सकते हैं इसमें? अभी ये क्योंकि बहुत ही ज़्यादा perfect लग रहा है and I'm finding it hard to believe.
Pitfall is execution and timelines.
Okay.
Right? अभी for example, नैना ने बोला ये आपको develop करके ऐसा develop plot देगा. Say 645. How much time will that development take? They have to build roads. It's like you're creating a city from scratch. So the execution timelines are the same thing. If you get this plot in 3 years, your investment into that 7/12 was a good investment.
Yeah.
But what if the same thing takes 30 years?
Would it still not be a good investment?
Investment, CAGR is a function of time. Right? वो जो 10 साल मान लीजिए execute नहीं हुआ, that will be a limbo stage. There will be a lot of uncertainty. So the only thing, the execution timelines, that is key. If somebody tells me कि ये 3 साल में होगा ही होगा, it's a blind investment. It's an absolute blind investment.
और कोई जगह है?
Yes. I'm bullish. Like I said, my third best would be, for me, Alibaug is the best. Second is Panvel.
Not Naina, no? Panvel.
Naina is part of Panvel.
Okay.
Right?
Naina phase 1.
Naina phase 1.
What we discussed was for Naina phase 1.
Phase 1, yes. Right? But 23 villages were merged and they made 12 TPSs.
First is Alibaug. Second is Naina phase 1. Third would be?
Third, I would, again, I'm obsessed with this part of Mumbai, with this outskirt, the right side, not so much on the western side, right? And not so much on the Thana Bhivandi, right? It's a personal preference as well because, like I told you, Nasik can't become Pune. Things in the middle can't become what's in the middle of Bombay and Pune. Third will be, I would say, a Karjat.
Okay, so Alibaug number 1, Naina number 2, and Karjat number 3. But why would you choose Alibaug over Naina? Because Naina seems to be promising. And Alibaug में तो बस घर ही बन रहे हैं. नैना में तो आपके पास बुलेट ट्रेन भी आ सकता है, एयरपोर्ट भी आ रहा है, जॉब प्रोड्यूसिंग एंटिटीज भी है और डीपी भी बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है. And on the outside it looks like a very pretty place. Then why Alibaug, a random holiday home place?
So glad you asked me this, because there is a secret sauce. The sixth thing that we have missed out, that you haven't spoken of, that's the soul. That's the community angle. You see, Naina, Panvel is a first home segment. अगर आपको affordable price में अच्छा घर चाहिए, you go to Panvel, 1 crore में. The beauty of that is it's a forever market. मंदी slowdown में भी बिकेगा. Alibaug slowdown में slow होगा. But here's one thing that you're missing out. Alibaug has that community of ultra HNIs. Community is something that holds the prices together. You know, the rich in DLF and anywhere in Altamont Road, people are not buying 4 BHKs in a building for 60 crores for the apartment. No.
They're looking for access.
They are buying, in DLF, people are buying 60 crore apartments to be next to each other. It's a filtering mechanism. You have to network. And क्या होता है? People have the holding capacity together. Right? You'll not see a distress sale that much in Altamont Road in a building. Prices will stay put. So the power of community, it's like power of going to a good school, the alumni, power of a good college network. Same community with real estate also applies. Alibaug has that, right? It's one of those niche holiday home communities that have been set up, right? It's trend mein hai. It's aspirational. People want a piece of Alibaug. They want, how people want to be in Malabar Hill. People want to be in Altamont Road next to Rambani. People want to be in Bandra and Carter Road, right?
Prestige value.
Prestige value it has. So that's a little secret sauce, I would say. It may not be a technical answer to it, but it matters, right? People want to be in that pin code.
Got it. Okay, Mayank. So let me just quickly summarize all of our learnings, and if there's anything that you think needs to be corrected, please correct me. So firstly, you need to understand that finding the right piece of land is not a question of luck. It's only a question of calculation and fundamental analysis. Firstly, do not buy land if you need returns in about 2 to 3 years. Only invest in land if you're expecting returns in about 10 years, or when you have the appetite of risk to hold the land for 10 years, or you're patient enough to stay put for 10 years even if there is some financial problem in your life. To buy an agricultural land, you have to be an agriculturalist. And if you're not, then you can still buy land, but in 5 years you'll have to convert, and you can take advantage of Section 63(1)(c) in Maharashtra. Before asset allocation, you have to understand that if you want to optimize for rental yield, buy a warehouse, 8 to 9%. If you want to optimize for capital appreciation, buy a land. If you want to optimize for preservation of wealth, then buy a residential property. Now, as far as land due diligence is concerned, it is very important that after shortlisting, you study that particular area and understand whether that beautiful piece of land is really worth the purchase or not, because more often than not, beautiful land parcels are actually terrible investments. For example, we spoke about the offset that needs to be established between the water body and the property. So it could range between 1 meter to 20 meters. If it's 20 meters and your land parcel falls between 10 to 15 meters, you'll have a problem. You either have to sacrifice the land, or sometimes you might not be allowed to build anything over there itself.
This is 0 to 100 meters depending on the size of the water body, and 500 meters from the sea.
Okay, which is why zoning is very, very important. Right. So you got to take into consideration the forest zone, the blue zone, everything else, so that it is pretty clear whether that land is even worth investing or not. Then we spoke about how do we identify a land. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but very difficult. Find a piece of land that falls in the outskirts. It needs to have proximity to a hotspot like Mumbai, and the fundamental landscape of the place should be in such a way that the demand-supply mismatch should happen. If that happens, then there's a possibility of land appreciation. If not, then because of immense supply, the appreciation may not be as impressive as compared to a place like Alibaug, where the supply is actually restricted. Then we spoke about the factor of infrastructure. Tender मिलने के बाद अगर आपने वहाँ पे invest किया तो वो sensible है, नहीं तो वो shot in the dark है. Central business districts जब आते हैं तो jobs create होते हैं, जिसकी वजह से rental yield बहुत ही ज़्यादा healthy हो सकता है, जिसकी वजह से land का value जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा appreciate हो जाता है, क्योंकि raw material becomes valuable for other people to construct buildings on top of it and sell those homes. And then we applied this to Mumbai 3.0 and Alibaug. When it comes to Mumbai, MMRDA is yet to give out the zoning. Is that correct?
Yes, they're going to make the DP plans.
Once the DP plan comes out, then it makes sense to invest. But when it comes to Naina, again, Naina is not a particular location. It's just
an area.
It's just an area where the government has actually put together 23 villages and they've made a development plan. And because it's an open canvas, it's the possibility of it being planned very well is very high, right, because it's an open canvas. MMRDA's plan is something that we discussed. There you have wider roads, better roads, and wider roads also mean better FSI. So that particular plot becomes a much better investment. Like I think we saw for 645. There, if you can gauge that map and check for the most desirable locations for yourself or as an investment, you'll be able to find the right spot. So moral of the story is, DP बनने के बाद, टेंडर निकलने के बाद, अगर आप एक लैंड पार्सल को आइडेंटिफाई करते हो, ड्यू डिलिजेंस अगर हो जाता है, तो the likelihood of that land parcel being valuable is very, very high.
Right.
Over there, if you can get a good deal because somebody else requires liquidity, then you've got a great shot at making immense wealth.
Right.
Thank you so much, Mayank.
Thank you so much for having me, and
pleasure.
it was a pleasure.